Here's another group of my unpopular opinions. These are my 80-20 takes. They are scientifically calculated so that 80% of people only agree with 20% of them. Number one, horses should be given medals. Not only are they incredible athletes who do a ton of the work while their passengers get all of the glory, their necks are perfect for medals. How did you miss this? It's like you evolved a creature specifically to wear gold medals. Trail mix is just for people who want to eat M&Ms but are afraid of being judged for doing it. They're plausible deniability for candy cowards. Number three, the Midwest is not the middle of the West anymore. If anything, it's the eastern side of the middle. The logical thing to call it is the Middle East. If aliens built the pyramids, they were crappy aliens. You fly all the way over here and then stack up our rocks and leave, that's it. No alien technology, no wild shapes we could never imagine, just a stack of our pre-existing rocks. Thanks, but no thanks. The Mile High Club is more gross than cool. You're in a tiny, dirty bathroom just feet away from strangers who don't want to be a part of your games. It's disgusting. Whereas on trains, the bathrooms are very spacious and they're further away from people, plus it's better for the environment. If you want to be cool, join the Mile Long Club. Obviously, under no circumstance should you ever do it on horseback, but if you do, it's called the Furlong Club, and the horse gets a medal. It's time for another group of my unpopular opinions, my 80-20 takes, precisely calibrated so that 80% of people only agree with 1 in 5. Number one, nobody has ever been canceled. It's not real, it's never happened. This list of victims of cancel culture from 2022 proves the point beautifully. Joe Rogan, Chris Pratt, Dave Chappelle, the fashion brand Balenciaga, and Santa Claus. That's just a list of people and things that are fine. The only thing cancel culture has done is proven the adage that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Number two, anybody who says we did X when I was a kid and we turned out fine did not turn out fine. It doesn't matter what they're talking about. Getting spanked, drinking from the hose, smoking since they were 12. The kind of person who says and we turned out fine didn't. Number three, hotels are still insisting to this day that the reason they stopped washing towels every day is because of their deep commitment to the environment, and I don't believe them. Number four, it's good that dogs can't talk because I don't think we would like a lot of their political opinions. I love dogs, but a lot of them are entitled, xenophobic, and anti-postman. I just don't think we would have very productive conversations. And number five, serial killers are not interesting or cool, and we should just stop talking about them. They were just like a group of dumb sickos, but the FBI made them seem fascinating and like superhuman to cover up the fact that they probably should have been caught way sooner. But despite all of the bad stuff they did, people cannot get enough of podcasts and TV shows about serial killers, and I think that proves nobody has ever been canceled. It's time for another group of my unpopular opinions, my needlessly spicy 80-20 takes, carefully calibrated so that only 20% of people like 4 or more. Number one, we should stop calling superfans stans. I don't know if you listened to the rest of the song or if you just stopped after the first verse, but Stan really did like a band, but he was more notable for driving his whole family into the ocean. Number two, Martin Short is the third most enjoyable star of Only Murders in the Building. Number three, jury duty is super fun. A bunch of people in power suits want to know my opinion? Heck yeah. You're gonna wonder how you ever meted out justice without checking with me first. Number four, if you're a clothing retailer and you want me to buy your clothes, don't show me pictures of them on Hot People. I don't need to see what a shirt looks like on a 10. That's not where I'm going to put it. When I need tires for my Civic, I don't look at pictures of what they would look like on a Bugatti. If you want to sell me clothes, show me proof that they can turn a 6 into a 6.5. Number five, you're not gonna like this, but you were already drinking plenty of water. No one needs to put in effort to drink lots of water. Just drink water when you're thirsty. And the internet decided that water is this magic cure-all if you take it in large quantities, but the only thing it cures is not needing to pee every 5 minutes. A lot of you are acting like real stans right now, and by that I mean you and your family are much too full of water. Here's another group of my unpopular opinions, my spiciest takes, my 80-20 opinions, scientifically calculated so that 80% of you only like about 1 in 5. Number one, Calvin and Hobbes. Look, this is going to be rough, but that's the whole premise of the segment, so just bear with me. We're going to get through this together. Number one, Calvin and Hobbes was never funny. Not once, not even on accident. Comic strip writer for newspapers must have been the easiest job because you were never expected to be funny or interesting, but if you could draw the same character every week going, "Gah," then you'd have a job for 100 years. Number two, every amazing looking cake on television or Instagram tasted like shit. Fondant and cereal treats and sculpting chocolate are all technically edible, but they're so disgusting. What is the point of making them out of edible things that no one wants to eat? You might as well make the whole cake out of Play-Doh and then serve a tasty thing next to it. Number three, sports documentaries are always more interesting to watch than sports, and I say that as someone who generally likes sports. This is just the better version. Number 4, you don't make your own luck. That is not what luck means. Luck means you did not make it, and words have meanings. That's a saying that people who got lucky made up so that they could take credit for the thing they didn't deserve. Number 5, anything that's an acquired taste isn't worth it. Don't bother acquiring it. We've got plenty of tastes. There is no reason to acquire new ones. It's entirely possible that bad sayings in sports and fun and Calvin and Hobbes all become good as long as you suffer through how bad they are long enough, but there's no point. You could just enjoy good things. Here's another group of my unpopular opinions, my 80-20 takes. These are scientifically calculated so that most people will only agree with 1 out of 5. Number 1, the movie is usually better than the book. Everybody who thinks the movie adaptation is always worse is only thinking about really good books. The majority of movies that are based on other things are based on things that are like only okay, and so most of the time they improve it. The Godfather, Twilight, The Prestige, The Wizard of Oz, The Shawshank Redemption, like 70% of the Marvel universe. If you start with something that's not a masterpiece, it's hard to make it worse by making it shorter, more clear, and more visual. Number 2, I think A-hole and B-hole should refer to different holes. It's unnecessarily confusing to make that the same hole. Number 3, Sherlock Holmes sent a lot of innocent people to jail. All of the stuff he used, like boot prints and mud analysis and handwriting, all of those things turned out to actually be very unreliable for solving crimes, and he would do a series of them in a row, just making it thousands and thousands of times more likely that the final conclusion is wrong. And while we're at it, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Encyclopedia Brown, they all wrongfully convicted a ton of people. They are monsters. And number 4, being tall, it's not that great. There are good parts, like basketball and dating apps, apparently, but I would trade all of them for being able to fit in airplane seats and common clothes sizes. In other words, dunking a basketball is the movie version, but the book version is having to squeeze into a tiny airplane seat.